If you look at the outlook that we have for our economy at the moment, and if you look at the developments that are underway, the assessment that we made is that if an agreement can be reached in relation to the orderly transition for the United Kingdom leaving the European Union, if that agreement is reached, and we believe it can be reached, then we are moving into an environment in 2019 and beyond of growth rates, but lower growth rates that are dipped to where we have been in recent years. What I have been determined to do is move away from the framework of fiscal space. The framework of fiscal space may well be appropriate when you are in circumstances of an economy that is either declining or stable. But if you use the same framework when you have an economy that is growing, it's a recipe for policies that are actually even more expansionary than the economy itself. So what I was eager to do was move to a position that we look at budgetary stance as opposed to fiscal space. So while the last two budgets that I have been involved in saw the gradual reduction of our deficit, and as we moved into this year, I had indicated in the summer economic statement that we would be broadly balancing our books, with a broadly balanced books equating to a deficit of 0.1%. I decided that was no longer appropriate, and what I decided would be appropriate for next year is to move into a budget that would be fully balanced. So we will have a deficit next year, or a surplus of next year of 0.0%. We will have a balanced budget for the first time in a decade. The Irish economy overall is currently in a place that is performing well. But I have no cause to be complacent. Any of you who are running a business at the moment know that when you're standing still, you're beginning the process of slipping backwards. If you have an economy that's small and open, that's a lesson that we should have already learned. What I try to do on budget day is make decisions that look to insulate our economy further while trying to respond back to the many challenges that are within me from a political point of view and within this Dáil, and also responding back to the social needs that we well know. And it is my intention that as we get further clarity regarding where we're going to stand externally, then we begin to accelerate our journey in terms of what we need to do to continue to ensure that our economy is as in a robust a place as possible, and while allowing us to do the right thing by all of the citizens. I know Danny and IBEC and the university sector want us to go further. Of course, the challenge always is competing demands, but what I did do is I have said in setting up the Human Capital Fund that we have now created an additional funding stream for higher and further education of €300 million, 60 million euro per year from 2020 onwards. And that is a commitment by me to respond back to a number of the growing views that I acknowledge are there regarding our international competitiveness.
5 years
I think you might pencil
survey.
Give us the date for when you see the next crash. And while you're at it, I think give us the date for the next election as well.